And I know someone is gonna watch this and be like, don't tell them about it, they'll ruin it. Hey, my name is Gabby and I love to travel. And I wanna help you travel too. So in recent years, there's been this big boom of Mexico tourism, right? And actually, it's not even a big boom to tour Mexico. It's more of a big boom to like 3 cities. And in some ways, that's great, but in some ways, it's been really harmful. I personally think of the big tourism boom to Mexico City. And again, it wasn't even really a big tourism boom. It was like 3 barrios, 3 neighborhoods in specific, which has led to housing displacement, rent increases, and overall like a negative impact on the local community, which I know is not what tourists want, at least most tourists. I think we really do care about what happens to the people and the places that we visit, but I think that either we don't know where to start in doing our research, or we don't know how the small things that we do like actually impact them. Like it's like, oh, okay, I haven't directly hurt anyone, so like what I did was fine. But really, like, you can accidentally be part of like a systemic issue and not know about it and contribute to these issues like increased rent, driving people out of their homes, gentrification by accident. I think we have to be conscious of that now that we know that that's happening and make like more responsible and more conscious travel choices, right? So you may be looking to go to Mexico, but you've done Tulum, right? Like you've done Tulum and you've done Cancun and you may have even done Tijuana and Mexico City. Like those are like the big spots that Americans like to go to, right? So like what else? Oh, like Moss. Like what else can you do? So you want to go to Mexico, but you're still really concerned about safety and about comfortability and getting around and convenience. But like we just said, you're also concerned about the impacts that you're having on the local Mexicans that live in these cities. So you're like, okay, I want to travel. I want something new. I want to be safe though. And I also want to make sure I'm having like, you know, not a negative impact. So my advice for visiting Mexico is the same advice I have for visiting Mexico City. Spread out. Spread out. I don't think there's anything wrong with visiting these places in general. I don't even think there's anything wrong per se with visiting these like hotspot cities, but I think when it's not done conscientiously, it can do more harm than good. So my advice is spread out. Go to different cities, go to lesser visited places, right? And go during the off season. I think that's the way we can prevent places like Cancun getting like crazy rent high in the winter when everyone's going, right? I think that's how we can prevent places like Oaxaca from getting like overrun during Dia de Muertos, is going during the off season or like the shoulder season or like right after those big events or right before. Like, okay, you want to visit those places, but like, let's like, you know, do it not during like the highest point in the season. It'll save you money. First of all, great budget travel hack, but it'll also disperse the tourism dollars throughout the year, which will help the local economy, okay? So that's why I'm saying this at the beginning of the video, so you don't skip it, because it is really important, right? So on to the fun part. Where do you go? Now we're here for the fun part. Where do you actually go? What are other destinations in Mexico that you should visit this year? I got you. Disclaimer, I would not consider myself the Mexico travel expert. I have been in Mexico maybe like 4 months total, like the total amount of time I've been there. I've taken buses, I've taken planes, I've taken trains. I really love exploring, but I won't say that I'm like the most knowledgeable person about Mexico. Luckily, I think I know the people that are. And I'll make sure I mention them as resources at the end of this video, so stick around. But I wanna give you some cities that you can go to in Mexico that I think you will really enjoy to help you escape Cancun and really get to experience and embrace the beauty that is Mexico. Okay, so destination number 1 is Puerto Morelos. You would fly into Cancun airport and then it's about like a 20 to 30 minute drive if there's no traffic, maybe with traffic 45 minutes, but it's really close to Cancun, closer than Playa del Carmen, closer than Tulum, but totally underrated. I feel like this is what Tulum and Cancun were like before they were Tulum and Cancun. Like it's giving fishing village, it's giving walking around, it's giving biking around. There's no like huge mall strip of stores, like American stores. People do speak English because it is a tourism town, but it's more like sleepy. And I know someone is gonna watch this and be like, don't tell them about it, they'll ruin it. And that's why I'm begging you guys to not ruin it. It is like a sleepy, beautiful fishing town. It's really family friendly, it's really relaxing, it's gorgeous. You can see the Mesoamerican reef from Puerto Morelos, the greatest, like one of, I think North America's greatest coral reef. Gorgeous, I went snorkeling there. You'll see sharks, like you can see dolphins, like it's really beautiful. So Puerto Morelos, I highly recommend. My next suggestion, if you are flying into Cancun airport anyway, is to go to Valladolid. That is about half an hour drive from Chichen Itza. So if you're doing a day tour to Chichen Itza, if you're driving yourself or if you're doing a tour, you're likely gonna stop in Valladolid for lunch or like along the way because it's between Playa del Carmen, Cancun, Tulum, and Chichen Itza. So it's on the way. Really cute, beautiful town. Amazing to walk around in, delicious food. I stopped by on a tour that I was doing to Chichen Itza and I just highly recommend it. It's picturesque, it's beautiful. There's a nice park in the middle of it. I just think it's a nice place to go to on a day trip. If you are gonna stay in Playa del Carmen or Tulum to do a day trip out to Valladolid, it's so adorable and so cute. Beautiful city. And I think it will give you a real taste of Quintana Roo in Mexico. My next suggestion is Tolantongo. This is in the state of Hidalgo in Mexico, and Grutas de Tolantongo is the springs of Tolantongo, and it is gonna blow your mind, absolutely. Tolantongo is about a 4-hour drive from Mexico City, and the Grutas, the springs open at 8 a.m., which means that you need to be leaving Mexico City if you're just doing a day trip at like 4 a.m., I swear, to get up there. You can get a private car, you can take a bus, like a public bus, or you can get a private, smaller bus, but you need to leave at 4 a.m., or you can stay at Grutas de Tolantongo, and I think there's a hotel there. I think it's maybe like $50 a night. It's very family-oriented. A lot of local Mexican families go there. Be respectful. You can't bring plastic water bottles into Grutas de Tolantongo because they don't want pollution. They don't want people like leaving trash everywhere. So be really, really respectful if you go, but it'll absolutely blow your mind. It's absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite experiences that I've had in Mexico is going to the springs. Another spring that I really enjoyed and another suggestion that I have now is Hierve el Agua, which is in the state of Oaxaca, Mexico. Beautiful. You would fly directly into Oaxaca City, and you may fly from Mexico City, connect to Mexico City, and then fly to Oaxaca, or you may fly into Mexico City, hang around Mexico City, and then take the bus down to Oaxaca. And that's what I did. I went to Dia de Muertos. Absolutely another one of my favorite, maybe the second favorite experience I've ever had in Mexico was doing Dia de Muertos in Oaxaca City. Absolutely beautiful. I took the bus from Mexico City. It was around 8 hours, and it sounds like a long time, but honestly, that's like about 4 movies, and they do play movies on the bus. The bus is comfortable. The bus is 100% safe. It's so easy. It's like $30, and when I was looking at flying down for Dia de Muertos, the flights were like $300, $400, $500. So the bus was perfect. All I needed, it was $30. Again, I went solo. I'm in my 20s. I was young. I was living it. It's really safe. It's fine. But Oaxaca is gorgeous. The city is famous for its Dia de Muertos celebrations. It's famous for its delicious food. The food in Oaxaca is absolutely amazing. You'll find a lot of steaks. You'll find a lot of vegetables, cactus. You'll find a lot of mole. Their claim to fame is their mole, their chocolate sauce that has like 30 plus ingredients. Absolutely delicious, and you'll find so many different versions of it. You'll learn the history of it. The mezcal is very, very famous in Oaxaca too. You'll do mezcal tastings. They have a mezcaleria. They have like mezcal sommeliers that can teach you about the process of making and harvesting and tasting and pairing mezcals. So highly recommend Oaxaca. A lot of people go every year. It's already a hot tourist destination. That's why I think it would be really fun to go during the off season. Yes, I know Dia de Muertos is stunning, but you can visit Oaxaca any time of year. In fall, it is already getting cooler, so if you go a little bit earlier in the summer, I think you can miss the crowds and really have a great experience at a site like Hierve el Agua, because the springs here are not warm. They're natural cold springs. I know it's called boiling water in Spanish. That's what Hierve el Agua means. It's not boiling. It's bubbling, but it's cold. So I think if the weather's pretty good, if it's warmer, it's a good time to go to Oaxaca City. From Oaxaca City, you can do a lot of amazing day trips. There are cities that I went to like Mitla, Huatulco, Puerto Escondido, and Hierve el Agua, which is like an hour and a half bus ride or like taxi or private tour drive from the city itself. There's so many other places to visit in the state of Oaxaca. It's beautiful. Puerto Escondido is one of the ones that I'll recommend as like honorable mentions because I haven't personally been there, but everyone loves it. But let me keep going on places that I have been. Puebla is my next suggestion. Between Mexico City and Oaxaca, if you take a bus, that 8-hour bus ride I mentioned, is Puebla. And Puebla is, I feel like I'm describing every city in Mexico. It's like, oh my God, absolutely beautiful, touch my heart. Oh, the colors are gorgeous. But it really is. Like, I feel like Puebla was the first city I went to outside of Mexico City that felt like a real Mexican city. Walking down the streets, absolutely amazing. You can hop into bars and hop into little restaurants and like have like little samplers here and little aperitivos here and have drinks here and have some mezcal, and it's really light. There's so many open air plazas to go to. There's always someone performing. There's always like meditation mariachi singing, there's dancing. I wouldn't say it's like a party hotspot. I know a lot of people who studied abroad in Puebla and like learned to speak Spanish there and volunteered there, interned there, but I absolutely love Puebla, and it's a lot closer to Mexico City than Oaxaca is. So if you're just in Mexico City looking to do like a few day, like a weekend trip out, or if you're looking for somewhere that's near Mexico City but still has more of that local, calmer feel, Puebla is the place for you. I had such beautiful stays there too. You can find awesome stays on Airbnb, on Expedia, hotels.com. I do recommend trying to stay as local as possible. So I stayed at, and this is just like a testament to how amazing the Mexican hospitality is, that I was staying at a hostel I'd found on, I think, Airbnb, and I wanted to stay an extra night. Something, my schedule changed, and I was like, hey, can I just like keep my room? And they're like, no girl, we are like booked up, you have to go. And I was like, oh my god, I have nowhere to stay, please. And everything was booked. I don't know what it was so crowded, but the owner of that hotel walked like around, down, up and down the street from me, and like jumped into other hotels and like talked to the owners, be like, hey, this girl needs a place to stay, and really advocated for me. And then it turns out hotel next door, he was like, hey, you can stay here, we have one extra room, they canceled last minute, come stay over here. And like, they helped me organize that, and I was so grateful because again, I was traveling by myself. I was in a city I'd never been in. It was really cute, but of course I'm just nervous. And he's like, no, like I talked to him, it's okay. You can stay there, and if you want to come back here the next night, we have rooms after that, so like let me know. And that hotel was absolutely gorgeous. Highly recommend staying. The last region, destination, cities that I'll mention that I've been to and I absolutely fell in love with in Mexico is Baja California Sur. So you may have heard of Baja California, right? Like Southern California, like surfy, you know. That part of the US extends down into Mexico and is now a peninsula in Mexico. Like that, not is now, but like it is a peninsula in Mexico, and like that's all one landmass basically split in two. So Baja California Sur is that peninsula in Mexico, and it's like another part of Mexico. The accents are different, the culture is different, it's really relaxed and surfy there. Like there's a lot of tourism in the area to see the gray whale migration every February, March, like that's springtime. That's what I went for. Some of my favorite, again, I mean, okay, I kind of see how this is sounding like everything's my favorite, but everything is my favorite. Mexico is so diverse and so beautiful to me. What I really do love are those once in a lifetime bucket list experiences though, and I feel like Baja California Sur offered me so much of that. Most people fly into Cabo, which is at the very bottom of the peninsula. There's flights every day from like Arizona and Utah, I think. There's like so many, I'm like, where is everyone from Utah? But there are a lot of flights down there, and then you can drive or take a bus or a group taxi up into the rest of Cabo. Other places I love in Baja California Sur, La Paz. I love Laredo. Laredo may be my favorite town, but I also fell in love with San Jose del Cabo last time I went. Another one that kind of reminded me of Pueblo and of Valladolid. When you're walking through the city and the little flags across, and you can just jump into different restaurants and cafes, and like amazing. It's a little bit more Americanized, Cabo is in general, because so many Americans go there. But if you're really looking for a place that has that kind of American feel, if you're really nervous about exploring other parts of Mexico, Cabo's a great starter destination for you because everyone speaks English. They're so used to tourists. There's a lot of familiar feelings and brands that you'll see there in Cabo, and then as you explore San Jose de Cabo, it gets a little bit more local, and I really love that area. It's still really convenient to get to. It's like 30 minutes from the airport too. But Laredo you can also fly into. Love that city. Guerrero Negro is a little bit more off the grid, but not dangerous. It's just a little bit more like, you know, you're like road tripping through New Mexico, you know, and it's just like a little bit more empty, a little bit more space between the towns, but absolutely gorgeous. And that's where you end up seeing the gray whale migration. A lot of RVers. I met so many Canadians in that part of Baja California Sur because they drive, their snowbirds just drive down from Canada all the way down the coast of California into Baja California Sur in Mexico. And they just hang out like all winter. Like a bunch of old Canadian people in their RVs park on the street, and they're just like chilling. Like they just enjoy the weather and the beaches, and at this point it's still, I think, really chill and kind of undiscovered, even though thousands of people already go there. So I'm not like ruining any secrets. People already go, but I just don't think it's so widely well known. So if you're looking for nature, if you're looking for escape, if you're looking for bucket list experience, definitely Baja California Sur, that northern part, and then the southern part is still gorgeous beaches. Surfing is great there, road tripping, and being a digital nomad. If you want to go to somewhere like Laredo, stay in a hotel. Everywhere has Wi-Fi in those hotels, and yeah, really gorgeous, and I definitely would go back in a second. So I hope my experiences in this video inspire you to see a few of the places in Mexico that may be on the second page of Google, but that are so worth your exploration and tourism dollars. $1,000 to be honest. I really love Mexico. I love it because of the hospitality. I love it because of the culture, because of the warmth, because of the invitation, the like warmness of Mexico. But again, like I said at the beginning of this video, that hospitality lasts when we're respectful, when we listen, when we are kind, and when we are supportive of like the local culture, okay? So I'm dropping some honorable mentions here. These are places that I personally have not been to in Mexico, but I do highly suggest, just because I've heard so many people go to these places, they're on my list. I would fly there today with just like a little carry-on and I feel like I'd be completely fine. So I think they're great starter destinations for you too. I just haven't been personally. And those places are Guadalajara and Tequila, Mexico. Those are kind of connected by a train. They're not far from each other, so I kind of grouped them together. Puerto Escondido, which was in Oaxaca State. Merida, not very far from Cancun Airport either, except you're going north instead of south. Everyone loves Merida. I heard such great things about it. A lot of Black expat Americans move there, immigrate there, and absolutely love it. And San Miguel de Allende, hear amazing things. It's closer to Tolantongo. I think it's in the state of Hidalgo, but it's up north above Mexico City. And I just hear the best things about San Miguel de Allende. Gorgeous, huge, yellow, church, like great architecture. Yeah, that's what it stands for. People love it. And before I end this video, I told you that I would mention some of my favorite Mexico mentors, Mexico travel experts that know a lot more beyond traveling in Mexico than I do, and here they are. Elijah, the partying traveler, he's traveled so much of Mexico. He travels solo, he does group trips. He's my age, he's in his 20s too, so if you're young and looking to go solo, that's who you wanna check out. Next is Trish. She's an influencer, her name is PS I'm on my way. She's immigrated to Mexico and is seeking residency, and I think ultimately her citizenship there. Absolutely fantastic. She knows a lot about Baja California Sur, traveled all around Mexico. Next, Adelia is a Black American who loves Mexico. She travels all through Mexico. Highly recommend her. And Rashida also travels through Mexico. I think she retired in Merida. She's a powerhouse, and both are Black American expat women who travel solo and have a lot of expertise in that experience in Mexico. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention some actual Mexican citizens, Mexican nationals who travel not just the world, but all through Mexico and can tell you about it from their experience. Cynthia and Gus from Nomad Arte are absolutely fantastic. I visited Baja California Sur with them on a press trip and met them, and they're not only beautiful people, but extremely knowledgeable about really like traveling through the US, van life, traveling as a couple, and all of Mexico. So they have been to, I mean, an infinite number of places in Mexico, more than I, or more than people that I know. I think they both have their own tequila brand too, like they are legit. Check out their content. So again, I hope this video really inspired you to explore all the beauty that Mexico has to offer. The places that I mentioned I think are great starter destinations if you're looking to just get out of those bubbles in Mexico, like Cancun and like Mexico City and like Tijuana. Absolutely, those cities are amazing and still worth visiting, but there's more. There's a lot more to see, and it's not unsafe just because it's new. You just haven't been introduced to it in the right way. So I hope this was a good introduction for you to start diving deep. I'm gonna drop a lot of the resources that I mentioned in this video in the caption below, so go check it out for links, discount, and itineraries that I have, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!